All local, all morning long. From your neighborhood and the world, this is Fox 9 News.
This is how it starts. A police officer is shot. A suspect is dead. It all got going over a complaint about loud music. The very latest, straight ahead in a live report. 7:34 the time right now. An overnight call about loud music leads to a deadly shootout in Andover. An Anoka County deputy is in the hospital this morning, and the suspect is dead. It happened near the 2100 block of 140th Lane Northwest, and that's where Dave Hansen is. This morning he's joining us live with the very latest. Good morning, Dave.
Yeah, good morning, Tim. Investigators arrived just a short time ago with search warrants. Want to take you closer down the block here to this home that is surrounded by yellow tape this morning. You see some of these guys in the yard here. They're getting a closer look at one of the cars here in front of this brown duplex and some of the other items that are to be found out in front of this home this morning. Now let's show you some close-up daylight pictures of the duplex where this happened. Look closely here and you'll see a shattered storm door on the home's front door where the man confronted deputies. Then look at what appears to be gunshot holes through a few living room windows here. Now let's show you some of what was happening at around 2:30 this morning too, as deputies are called by neighbors who are taking out their trash and are unhappy about some ear-splitting music coming from this home. Now when deputies are fired on, one is hurt, and SWAT team members converge over the next hour. And when they get inside, they find a man lying dead on the kitchen floor. How he died isn't clear at this point, but neighbor Michelle Warcole is one of those who called police, and she's feeling a little guilty this morning.
I'm glad that officers came over and saved our lives, because I heard that they didn't know whether he was in the house or not. And our back patio door was open. It wasn't locked. And I thought, that's all I need for him to come in here and hold us hostage. And so I'm very thankful for the officers for doing what they did and saving our lives and getting us out of here, and thanking my angels up there for watching over us, because if we would have went over there, I wouldn't be seeing my little girl.
Well, one of the two deputies was unhurt in this shootout. The other one, though, took a gunshot wound to one of his arms and to his pelvic area. He is in stable condition this morning. We don't know very much about the guy that turned up dead inside that house behind me, and we are hoping to learn more as the Anoka County Sheriff's Department holds a news conference later this morning at 10:30. Tim?
This is WCCO 4 News at noon, the Twin Cities news station.
Hello, I'm Andy Dominiani. A routine police call turned out to be anything but routine. A sheriff deputy has now been shot. Another man is dead. Shots were fired this morning at a home off 140th Lane North. That's in Andover, and that's where Maya Nishikawa is joining us now live with the very latest. Maya?
Andy, investigators have been here all morning long collecting evidence at the home on 140th Lane here in Andover, and they will likely be here all day long. Now, the Anoka County Sheriff just released information about an hour ago, new information on the case, but he says they are still trying to figure out what led up to the shooting.
It is a routine thing, and we answer hundreds of these types of calls on an annual basis. Why this one took an unfortunate turn, a tragic turn, we can't answer that right now. We do know that the officers really need to understand the principle that there is no such thing as a routine call.
The sheriff also says that they have never responded to any significant trouble at this home, but the neighbors also tell us that the man who lives there, they consider a responsible homeowner. They call him a nice guy. That's why this all comes as a very big surprise.
You don't think it happens to you. You watch it on TV and you think it'll never happen to you, and next thing you know, it's happening.
Michelle Narkle had no idea complaining about her neighbor's loud music would lead to violence.
I was like, well, should we go over there? And he's like, no, let's call the police.
Two Anoka County Sheriff's deputies checked out the complaint. When a man opened the door, he also opened fire.
Next thing, not even 5 minutes, we hear a pop, 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 and first instincts dropped to the ground.
One deputy was hit twice in an arm and his pelvis. At least one deputy fired back.
And then I heard yelling going on, so I don't know who was doing the yelling or where that was coming from. And then the next thing I know, the road is covered in squads.
The SWAT team soon surrounded the home. They eventually set off flash grenades and went in. The suspect was already dead. Michelle Norcall is thankful she didn't try to handle the problem on her own.
In a way, I feel like it's my fault, but in a way, I'm glad that officers came over and saved our lives.
And at this point, we still don't know whether it was the deputy shot that killed the man or whether the man may have shot himself. The investigation is ongoing, but now we do know the name of the deputy who was injured, a 5-year veteran of the Anoka County Force. His name is Deputy Dustin Reichert. He is to turn 31 years old tomorrow. The other deputy who responded to the call who was not injured is 22-year-old Deputy Samantha Cruze. She has just started on patrol. The only information we have about the suspect is that he was 29 years old. Reporting live in Andover, I'm Maya Nishikawa, WCCO 4 News.
From KSTP TV, this is Channel 5 Eyewitness News at 6.
Can we just heard gunshots?
Yes, we are aware of it, and we've got help on the way out there.
First at 6, bullets flying in a Twin Cities neighborhood. The gun battle between a man in this home and police. Good evening, I'm Harris Faulkner.
And I'm Randy Meyer. The deadly incident began when deputies responded to a loud music call at a duplex on the 2100 block of 140th Lane Northwest. They say a man came out yelling and shooting. Tonight he's dead and the wounded deputy is recovering at North Memorial Hospital. Bob McNaney is live there.
Randy, Anoka County Deputy Reichert is in fair condition here at North Memorial. We talked to a hospital representative a short time ago who says he is here with family members as well. Tonight you will hear more from those 911 calls from neighbors who heard what seemed to be a normal, typical, uneventful complaint go very, very bad.
Our neighbor that plays music extremely loud. I don't know if he's passed out or not.
Hundreds of such calls come into the Anoka County Sheriff's Dispatcher each year. But moments later in this Andover neighborhood, commonplace became chaos.
Can we just heard gunshots?
Yes, we are aware of it, and we've got help on the way out there.
Right where you moved my daughter from the one bedroom and bring her downstairs?
If you can get to interior, I believe everything is relatively under control outside right now, but we do have help on the way, but take whatever safety precautions you need.
Why this one took an unfortunate turn, a tragic turn, we can't answer that right now. We do know that the officers really need to understand the principle that there is no such thing as a routine call, and this really, I guess, makes that clearer than one could possibly ask for.
Deputy Reichert got to the house, saw a man with a gun near the doorway. Reichert was shot twice, the dead man once. It all played out quickly in the middle of the night.
Then I heard the gunshot sounds and I heard yelling going on. What was being said, I couldn't determine that, but I heard some yelling, and then the next thing I know, there's sirens everywhere, and the road is just filled with squads up and down, and that's when we heard that there was an officer that was down.
Tonight, the coroner's office has not yet released the name of the dead man, although we can tell you we talked to some friends and some neighbors up there who say that he never really had any trouble in the neighborhood. Police confirmed they had not responded to the house on a call prior to early this morning, and then they did some checking and that the man has no criminal record. Live at North Memorial, Bob McNaney, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
This is Para 11 News at 6.
And suicide or shot by police, the latest on the unusual death of an Andover man. Thanks for joining us. It all started with a complaint call about loud music, but moments after sheriff's deputies arrived, shooting erupted. One of the deputies was shot, and a 29-year-old man was dead. Now investigators are trying to figure out if he was shot by an officer or himself. Carol 11's Bernie Grace reports.
I heard a pop, 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 and that's when I heard the gunshots, and then after that, we hit the ground right away.
This neighbor says within minutes of deputies arriving on the loud music complaint, the gunfire began.
As they approached the front door, both officers, one of them noticed the suspect coming to the front door with a gun in hand.
Investigators say they don't know who first opened fire. They say 2 spent shell casings were found in the house, 1 outside. In the gunfire, the 29-year-old occupant of the home who lived here alone died. His body was removed by the coroner, who will determine if he took his own life or was killed when one of the deputies opened fire. That deputy, who was taken to North Memorial Hospital, is listed in stable condition with wounds to an arm and pelvis. That deputy is identified as 5-year veteran of the Sheriff's Department, Dustin Reichert, who will be 31 tomorrow. A former tenant of the man who died says it's unusual that a complaint would have been lodged against him for loud music.
He never played music. He used to call my house all the time, telling me to turn my music down.
Justin Johnson, who lived next door for some 3 years with his mother, moved out last month.
He had helped me out fixing my truck, this truck here, a couple times, and but didn't really want too much to do with people. Stayed in the house a lot.
City officials say this neighborhood has seen an increase in crime over the last couple of years. And in fact, just this month, the Andover City Council passed a Get Tough ordinance, giving more authority to landlords to deal with tenants who generate more police calls.
How many calls they can have prior to being able to evict.
But before early today, police say they were only called here once before on a parking complaint, and that the 29-year-old gunman apparently has no criminal record. In Andover, Bernie Grace, KARE 11 News.
The second Anoka County officer at the home this morning became a full-fledged deputy just a week and a half ago. Samantha Cruze was not injured.
You're watching UPN 29 News.
An Anoka man is dead and a deputy injured after a routine noise complaint. Cops responded to a duplex around 2:30 this morning after a neighbor complained of loud music. When they went to the door, a man started shooting. One of the deputies was hit and returned fire. The SWAT team later found a 29-year-old man dead. Police are not sure yet who shot the fatal bullet.
I'm still worked up from it because now thinking we were going to go over there and say something, and if we would have went over there, we wouldn't be here right now. We probably would be dead.
Deputy Dustin Reichert, who was shot, is in stable condition.
This is WCCO 4 News at 6, the Twin Cities news station.
And Mark, thank you. Police today released the name of the Anoka County man who died after a shootout with police. Yesterday, 29-year-old Eric David Nyland was found dead in his Andover home. This came after a shootout with two Anoka County Sheriff's deputies answering a noise complaint. According to Anoka County Coroner's Office, Nyland was shot in the chest by one of the deputies.